Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Three Stacks in this thing, representing the squad today, of course. Today we're going over a deck that has caught my eye. It's one of my new favorites. It's Phantasm Spiral, the bad kind of spiral. My teammate Chris actually put me on this deck. I think this deck is awesome. It has some incredible potential. It's definitely the definition of an anti-meta contender. I do enjoy its playstyle. It's a little bit more skill-based than people think. It's not really like I like it because it's anti-meta, but it's not helmet. It really does require a lot of skill to play this deck. You can't just pick it up, read the cards, and just think that, it's going to work out. Like, you have to study it, practice it. You have to make the right decision and the right call given the moment, because sometimes what you think is going to be, like, basically going to be the card that gets you out of that situation. There might be a better option, but, we can't always go with our first thought with this deck. You always have to stick to your instinct sometimes. But overall, the deck's awesome. I think Zombino's amazing. He's one of my new favorite monsters. Zombino! I mean, bro, like, my whole team is tired of me talking about Zombino. Like, he's just broken, bro. Like, he has the best effect. He's just too awesome, bro. Like, he breaks boards. Zombino is just busted. Like, I was going to go with nothing but dinosaurs from my vanillas, but I just love Zombino so much, bro. Like, he is, woo, Zombino, bro. He's too savage. All right, so let's hop into the main deck. So starting off with monsters, we're playing 2 Zombinos. I was playing 3. I realized, like, this deck doesn't need a lot of monsters. This isn't the only monster I play, but he's definitely, like, if there's any monster that I want to see the whole duel, I'd rather see him than anything. He's just busted, bro. Like, oh my gosh, Zombino was, whew. Bro, Zombino is just too strong, I'm telling you. Like, there's a lot of decks that really can't handle a lot of pressure through back row, and then a Zombino. Zombino is like meta. I'm going to make him a $30 card. Watch. Just watch me hype him up. 2 Megalo Smashers. I like Megalo Smasher because A, he's a water, and then B, he's a dino, which gives you options in your extra deck to make some pretty solid, boss monsters like Lagia, Doka, and Bahamut Shark, and Totally Awesome, which is really cool. So, Megalo Smasher is just so good for so many different reasons, but he's nothing compared to Zombino. He like slims in comparison. Then the final monster we're playing is Big Daddy. So there are some builds that don't play him, and there are some that play 2 or 3 of him. I find that you're never really gonna be summoning more than 1 in the same turn. Like, even with the Godliest opening, the equip spells are all hard ones per turn. They're the spells that summon him, and I feel like every time I resolved an equip and summon him, I pushed for so much damage that it was game anyways, and I feel like, what was the point of running a second? And he is a break, but he's got an awesome effect too. Like, every normal monster has an effect. I don't care what anybody says. Their effect is a story that's entertaining. He was hunted by Mermaid Atlanteans, and he's kind of beat up, and he's struggling. He's scarred, and he's tired. And then he got renewed. He found a new power. And then he decided to get his revenge, so he's fighting Fire Kings, and now he's killing Atlanteans too. And if you look in the artwork of all of the Phantasm Spiral cards, you'll see him, like, raping Atlanteans, like killing them, grabbing them with his hands, flying away with them, eating them. He's just really cool. This is all you need for the monsters, just those 5s. And Big Daddy is really important because it is how you OTK. People look at this and be like, 5 monsters? You can't OTK with this deck. Yes, you can. First turn setup, second turn kill. And then we play 3 Pacifist the Phantasm City. This field spell is honestly why this deck can actually be, like, competitive. I feel that, yeah, some people tell me I love Rogue too much, but, like, you gotta realize, like, it takes more skill to play Rogue anyways than it does to play meta. And plus, I hate taking negs off of, meta decks. They always get banned and you always get disappointed. With Rogue, you'll never get let down. But this field spell is the main reason why this deck is so powerful. You don't have to have any monsters. This field spell will generate you a consistent, viable field presence every single time your opponent activates an effect, a card or effect. So it could be activated on field, or it could be on field using its effect. Either way, this field spell will get you a plus. Basically a +2. So it's only while it's on the field, and if you normal or special summon exactly 1 normal monster, you can add 1 Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand. And if your opponent activates a card or effect, you special summon 1 level 8 Phantasm Spiral token that's a water, and it has 2,000 attack and defense. So it's a level 8 and it's a beater. Champions Vigilance, anyone? Hello. But it gets better. This field spell is not hard ones per turn in any way, shape, or form. So a card like Metaverse and Terraforming, you can go through multiples of these. The only stipulation of it's summoning a token. It has to summon a token if you don't already control a token. But like once you summon the token and you search, you can still activate another one and then normal summon for turn and then get another search. And also in tandem with like Metaverse and Torrential Tribute, that's just wombo combo. Search off the field spell, Torrential board wipe, chain Metaverse, slap this, resolution, this is there. They activate an effect, you summon another token, you get another search. Nothing is hard once per turn about the field spell. It's just busted. This is amazing, man. Like you can be losing and this field spell will just make you win. You just keep resolving it like as many times as possible. It's too good. And like the two things that I learned about this field spell, well, the two things that it'll do, it'll either generate you a consistent field presence and also allow you to search out disruption, which, you know, traps that you can actually play from your hand, or it'll do this. It'll force your opponent to not want to play because they don't want to give you that free body, especially because this deck forces the game state to be simplified. It's like there's nothing established right now. That's what a simplified game state is. It's like there's no big board on this side. There's no big board on this side. It's literally like we have to try to find some way to just get damage. We just need a monster to poke because I've been hand trapped, you've been hand trapped, we've both been stopped, our best plays are shut down. Now we're down to top decking, we have bricky hands. That's a simplified game state. In a simplified game state, this field spell forces your opponent to not activate anything because when you're in the state where all you need is a monster to go for game, they will not give you that monster once they see how this deck works. So this field spell, it can be like, think of it like Maxi or Shared Ride. It can either get you what you need or it'll force your opponent to not play. So it's like, it's good. Sometimes it even acts like a trap. 3 Optimus Prime, the search your field spell that is not hard once per turn. So you kind of need to maximize because like I noticed, yeah, I can play more actual monsters, but I feel that that still wouldn't help because I'm playing Demise in this deck and I'm trying to play bare minimum monsters. And also at the same time, when you see no monsters, as long as you see the field spell, you get field presence. A 2K beater is all you need in this deck. And honestly, the reason why this deck beats every meta deck is because it can play Heat Wave. Heat Wave is one phenomenal card. Honestly, bro, like it doesn't matter what deck it is, like because of this deck will OTK you. That's all I'm saying, like first turn setup, second turn kill. You Heat Wave your opponent, you set your back rows, you summon your monster, you search off your field spell, you trap the crap out of your opponent if they can even do anything. Because at this point, they're not summoning any monsters. They're going to set one pass. You can't special anything at all. And you can't go into your extra deck because extra deck monsters that don't have effects are not normal monsters. They're non-effect monsters. So you can't even summon Gaia Saber, just to put that out there. So Heat Wave stops every deck in its tracks. And they really can't do anything like at all. And again, Sky Strikers, sure they can set Widow Anchors, but think of it, Widow Anchor has to hit an effect monster, right? You have normal monsters, so Widow Anchor can't stop you from killing them. And they can't Shizuku, they can't Hornet Drones. Like they literally, no, I'm sorry. Can they Hornet Drones? Yeah, it's a normal, so they can Hornet Drones, but that's pretty much it. Heat Wave just beats everything. It's not once per turn, but you have to activate it at the start of your main phase. So if you draw this off of Duality, Demise, or Desires, it's kind of going to be bad because you have to wait a turn, but if you open with this in the field spell, you can game your opponent because the field spell will search the equip and then you get 2K, you put 25 increments on each of them, so it's 5,000, and then Big Daddy gets equipped and that's 34. That's 8,400 damage. If you just Heat Wave field spell, it doesn't even matter as long as you got like one good trap. It's broken, bro. Like Heat Wave is so good. I wish I could play Heat Wave in like every deck without the drawback, but then again, it'll be banned at that point. So yeah, 3 Heat Waves. And then we have 3 Fossil Dig. You do only have 2 search targets. Now, I've considered bumping this, but I still play 3 Fossil Dig because you actually need to see monsters sometimes when you're going in for your push. Like, for example, the field spell got you the monster and you have the equip, but in order to do the OTK, you need 2K beaters, which would be the one you normal summon and the one that got special out the field spell, plus any of the equips, and you can go for game at that point. So, like, this increases your monster count by 3 extra without actually putting monsters into your deck, if that makes sense. So when you draw this off of Demise, you can set it. If you draw this off Demise, you have to discard it. So I feel that 3 Fossil Dig it's been justified even though you only have 2 targets, and I would never cut it because it helped so much. Like their hands and I drew like 4, you know, and they still weren't monsters, and then the 5th card was Fossil Dig. I was like, thank God. And then for more spells, we play 3 Demise. This deck is really consistent because you can play so many deck thinning spells that get you advantage and play the bare minimum of monsters. So the low monster count gives you space to put all kinds of spells. So you have like the field spell searches, terraform searches, heat waves, just game, fossil dick searches. Then you have your draw power. Card of Demise is too good. You have such a low monster count, and a lot of decks, if you don't heat wave them, they can play through your back row. And even though you stun them for a turn, if for whatever reason you can't OTK them, you can Demise and regenerate all of the resources that you just expended, reestablish yourself, keep playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't let them play. Then we have 2 duality. We have 2 desires. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, that's what they call it, right? And I don't really like that because, like, that's kind of disrespectful to my religion. But anyways, like, the main reason why Draco was so good is because it could play these spells comfortably. And this deck is, like, it doesn't really need these, but these just make this deck over the top. Like, these increase the ceiling exponentially. Like, just these spells right here, like, they help you to regenerate, or how you say, not really regenerate, reestablish. They also help you dig for your monsters, for your better traps, and they also help you dig for the goats. Now, the goats are really good in this deck because the traps say you have to control a normal monster to activate them. So if you don't have the field spell and you don't have a monster, but you have goats, you can play the trap still. And also, scapegoat is another way that you just game your opponent. So let's say you have the field spell and you have a monster. You can still kill them, but if you in-phase goat, like, let's say, like, they ogred your field spell, for example. Like, I know nobody literally plays ogre right now, but let's just say it actually happened. They ghost ogre your field spell, you can't resolve its effect. You go in-phase goat, you still kill them anyways. Like, goat is too busted in this deck particularly because Link Spider extends your plays because you have normals. You just Link Spider. Bro, Link Spider is broken, honestly, in this deck. Like, I'm going to make Link Spider like $1,000 card. But, yeah, Scapegoat's amazing. It helps you to actually make a board, and then you could go Bahamut Shark, Toad, Yugioh, whatever you choose, and you set up with the nightmares. If you, for some reason, can't OTK, you can establish negations, which helps you out a lot. So, Goat, just too good in this deck. And those are all of your amazing, powerful, busted spells. If you draw any of these spells, you're going to have a good day. And then we have the last spells, which are all one-ofs. So first, these are the best spiral equip spells. So the way that the equip spells work is you're going to equip them to a normal monster. You're going to resolve whatever stipulation it puts you under to summon Phantasm Spiral Dragon, which is aka Big Daddy. This one gives your guy a 500 boost, so you have 25 beaters with no effects. Hello, no impermanence, no strike, no Widow Anchor, no chalice. Nothing's gonna help you at this point. But grip, it gives it a 500 boost. If it kills a monster, you special Big Daddy, then you equip this to Big Daddy, burn your opponent for 5,000. So this exponentially, well, not even exponentially, this in small increments, because exponential and increment are 2 different like measurements, but in increments, this applies an extra 2,000 damage to whatever your push is. 500 for whatever monster it gives, that's 500 extra. And then the 1,000 burn from it, and then it equips itself to Big Daddy, so he goes from a 29 beater to a 3,400 beater. So this is when you're going for game, like this is what you always want to do. But you only search it if they have a monster. Like if you Phantasm Spiral, for example, and Isolde's effects negated, they're gonna either Goki rematch if they have it, and at that point they're just gonna wall up. You're just gonna kill them with this. With Crash, it gives your monster piercing, and then if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent whatsoever, you're gonna summon Big Daddy. So when you Storming Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute your opponent, you want to search this one because this one does not have to kill a monster by battle. All you got to do is inflict damage. And then it's really cool because it can equip to Big Daddy and then turn a monster to defense, so you can hit them for piercing if their attack was too high and then their defense is low enough. And this one is optional, but I actually like Wave because it gives you the ability to provide, I guess, produce hand control. So this is the hand control one. This one makes your opponent discard a card from their hand, and you can loop it every turn. You only can use it once, but every turn you can rip a card out their hand, which is really cool. So I like this because you can recycle it from your graveyard, re-equip it. You can just keep getting it back. So this is only for when you either cannot go for game and you know that your opponent is pretty high on resources and they're cocky. You just rip a card out their hand and change everything. And also it helps when like the board is too big and you know you can't kill everything, so you push as much as you can and then you take their best card out their hand, which most people overcommit these days except for a pure Sky Striker player. So like the cards in their hand are gonna make a difference because they hold it for next turn on purpose, so you just rip it out their hand and it's gonna be really good. Then for your traps, we played 3 Metaverse. Metaverse is so broken, bro. Like it's insane. You can just steal wins off of this. This is the best trap out of the entire trap lineup because this trap searches your traps because the field spell searches your traps. And then this turns into a field spell, a field presence, and a search. That's a +3 in my eyes because that's 2 on field, 1 in hand off of 1 card. That's a +3. Metaverse is insane. It's not even hard once per turn. Even when they ghost ogre your field spell, you can chain this, slap your field spell on there. On resolution, it still gets its effect if effects never miss timing, and it doesn't chain to anything. Effect just has to be activated. That's it. And it's not hard once per turn. So they're going to pick it up and then say, no, you can't do that. And you're going to say, the field spell's not hard once per turn. And you're going to get your search, and you're going to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's fair. So Metaverse is just busted, bro. Like, it's so good. This, Zombino, you win, bro. Zombino Metaverse is too strong, bro. 2-card combo. You guys know I'm not serious right now. 3 Torrential Tributes, because Torrential is amazing in this deck. Torrential Metaverse, when you already have the field spell, you get a search, you get the token, and then you're like, oh, dang, you can special summon the tokens as many times as you want. You just have to control no token. And you're like, oh, man, I need to get the token off because I have a Metaverse. You're like, okay, Torrential Tribute, Metaverse, slap another field spell, summon another token, get another search. Because remember, the field spell is not hard once per turn. So Torrential is amazing. Torrential Scapegoat is definitely game. Like, you're going to Link Spider special, normal for turn, push for so much damage, they'll be like, oh, dang. Like, everybody looks at this deck and they're like, I got a turn. Like, if, for example, I was playing Hand Traps and I draw Lockbird at you, they'd be like, this deck is slow. I got a turn. This guy's playing like an Altergeist playstyle. Then you OTK them. They're like, dang, I can't give this man a turn. You have 3 Storming. You break any extra link board with this and strike. Especially, like, going second against Gokis. This deck can play going second because the field spell searches the traps, and you can play the traps from hand. So, for example, if you have my man Zombino and the field spell, you just normal him, search the field spell, search out the field spell, play your trap from hand to hit a monster. Like, for example, I killed Chris when he opened with an insane board. He had Naruto Vortex playing his Metaphors, and I broke his board because I had Phantasm Spiral and a grip. I activated the field spell normal this guy. When I activated the field spell, he did respond, and then he negated it, and then I activated another field spell, he let it resolve. Then I normal this, and then effective search. I searched for another power, and I then played the grip from hand to target the Vortex and destroy him. He chained Naruto to negate it. I chained power to negate Naruto. He chained Vortex to negate it. Then I chained power from hand, and I took care of the Vortex, and then dealt with the Naruto, and I ended up just killing him the next turn. It was just insane. So, like, this deck can play through established boards, but you have to open like this. A monster, a field spell, and at least one of the traps. Which, you play 5 monsters, you play 5 of the traps, and you play, I don't know how many ways to get to the field spell. So, it's possible, but if you don't want to waste resources doing stuff like that, what I just mentioned, if they're extra link you, they're like, oh, I got Link Rebo, 7 different monsters, a Trigate, a Griffin, I win. And you're like, oh, I don't need a Spear mode. You just set Storming, you set Strike, you pass. You make sure you set enough back row because they will try to use Trigate to banish, but once they realize how good this deck is, they're going to go for the field spell because that's what's going to stop them ultimately. So they're going to try to banish the field spell. You don't negate it, but if they target the strike, you have to flip the strike. And once you strike the Trigate, you can Storming Mirror Force them anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But ultimately, you flip the Storming when they attack for game. They go Trigate, negate, you change strike, everything gets bounced. They're like, wait, my monsters can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And you're like, it don't matter because I'm just returning everything to the hand. Even if strike doesn't negate and destroy Trigate, understand that everything's going back. So yeah, you can try to reestablish. Good luck with that because I got a Torrential. So I feel like these are amazing. Breaking boards, man. Going first or second. Because some people get greedy and they try to do like brownie points, clout, you know, all of that. They just want to flash you in. So you can punish them with Torrential Strike even if they establish. And also, you just activate your field spell and special the token, triggering the Torrential, and then flip the Solemn after that if they have a way to stop the Torrential. Then 3 power. This is basically infinite impermanence, but it's better because you can play it in damage step. Because what happens, if all monsters you control are normal, you can target an effect monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of the turn, and reduce its attack and defense by 1,000. So you can play it in damage step because it reduces the attack and defense by 1,000, which is busted. If Umi's on the field, you can play his trap from hand, and the field spell is always treated as Umi. Then you can banish it from grave and equip one of your equip spells from your graveyard to a normal monster you control. So this is purely for the grind game. That's why I played 3 of this. It's busted, it's impermanence, you play it in damage step, you play it from hand. It's stupid good. And then your equips, like if for some reason your equip dies or they get rid of it because the equips are busted, you just put it from graveyard back on the monster and you kill them anyways. And then I only have 2 Spiral Battles. I would definitely play 3 of each of the traps. I'll maximize on them because they're that good. This is Dryden. You play it, you pop any card that your opponent has, and then you can play it from hand if you have Umi. and then you banish it from the grave. The same turn that they're sent, you can banish them from grave, and then you target one normal monster you control, and you equip all equipped spells that you have on your field to that monster. So this is how you kill your opponent. You have the 25 one, the one that boosted by 5. You swing 25, special Big Daddy, inflict 1,000, swing for 34. Declare an attack with the token, chain this on attack declaration, re-equip it, put it by the equip on them, make them 2,500 instead of 2,000, you gain them. And also on your opponent's turn, you can catch people off guard with this and grip, if grip's in your grave, because they'll try to attack over Zombino. You can play this from hand and shrink the monster, and the attack can still go through, and like basically you could go on attack declaration, power, and it shrinks. They can't redeclare their attack to a different monster at this point. Then you banish it from the grave before they even go into the start of damage step. Before damage step, right? You equip grip, and then the Zombino kills the monster by battle. Then you special summon Big Daddy, you burn for 1,000. It's really busted, bro, how this deck starts. It just goes off. And then the one-ups are Skill Drain and Judgment. I was going to cut Judgment, but I was like, man, why would I not play Judgment? Especially because this deck kind of thrives off of traps. So I was like, nah, we have to. Extra deck doesn't even really matter. The only card that really makes a difference is Link Spider. I played 2 of them for right now, and instead of the 3rd Link Spider, I'm playing Guard Dragon, just to have like the option if I need to out something. But Link Spider is just insane. Like Link Spider can help you to do turn 1 pushes. It can help you to OTK. It's an extra 1,000 on field. Just for your pushes, like you can Link Spider, special, normal, put the equip spell to it. You already got the token, so you have 3 2,000 beaters, then the Link Spider, that's already 7,000. Then you bring out Big Daddy off the equip, that's overkill. You can also go into Bahamut Shark Toad or Lagia off of this because you can link off the token, special Megalo Slasher, normal Megalo Slasher, and remember you play 5 of them, 3 falls a day, so it's possible. Bahamut Shark Toad or Lagia, whatever whatever the situation calls for. So Link Spider is pretty broken. Missus Radiance for the scapegoat, because what you do, you scapegoat, you Link Spider, you special, and then you link off the Link Spider and one of the tokens into Missus, and then you normal summon for turn, then you turn the other 2 tokens into Missus. If you have 2 Zombinos, they're 3,000 beaters now, so you have 3,000, 3,000, and then these are both boosting themselves, so this is 24, 24, 3,000, 3,000. That's what I was telling you, like when you scapegoat, you're going to win. You're not going to board load or nothing, you're just going to put damage on board. And then a couple Nightmares because they're cute. I don't really make them, but I was like, you know what, if somebody ever puts me under a floodgate, like Imperial Order, for example, that would rape my field spell, I gotta make this guy, right? And then Cerberus helps too. And then we have Toad and Shark and Lagia. And this guy, I actually, like, I never really made these. Honestly, they're there because, like, I feel like they will come up. They absolutely will. And you'll regret it if you don't play them. But I feel like this is the only XYZ I actually made. Like, especially under Scapegoat, when you need to, like, beat over things or when you need, like, more pressure. If you don't have multiple Zombinos, they won't get the boost from Mrs. Radiance. So, like, you can leave a Megalo Slasher, overlay the other 2, like for example, if you have 1 Zombino and 2 Megalo Smashers, I would overlay the 2 Smashers into this, and then he would get the double boost from both the Mrs. Radiance, so he becomes a 2,900 beater. You go 29 twice, that's 58. 58 is better than 2 Megalo Slashers, which is only 4,000. So, like, he comes up a lot more than you think, because with this deck, you don't give your opponent another turn. That's bad. You're a bad player if you do that. You stun them on their turn and you kill them on yours, and that's how this deck works. It's awesome. I love it a lot. Definitely let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this build. There's still some spicy techs. Like, Goals and Match is better than Rivalry of the Warlords in my opinion. All the Nightmares are fiends, but they're all different attributes. I just feel like, even though, yeah, Gokis are all Earths, what, are you just going to leave Gokis on the field? No, you're going to try to go into Soul Day. You can't. You're going to try to go into Mrs. Radiant, sure, if you play it. Like, it's going to restrict everything that you do. And Hornet Drones cannot go into Shizuku or Mizuki or whatever it is. And, like, Trickstars, like, they're limited to what they can do. This restricts every single deck, no matter what it is, especially Spirals. But for my deck, no, not really. Like, I can just keep Megalo Smasher and my water token and just control only waters. Or, like, because I love Zombino, I'll just let my token die, and I'll keep Zombino because he's broken. And then we have an MVP that I decided I might want to play, Mask Chameleon. My boy Chris reminded me that this card actually exists. Under pressure, you can go for game with Scarlight, Red Dragon, Archfiend. This was it was a really good theory that Chris told me, and I think it's a good idea. If they call time on your main phase, you can normal this. Special Zombino or Megalo Slashers, they both have 0 defense, and then you synchro into this, you blow up as many monsters as possible, hopefully burn your opponent for game. So this had to just be included as something that I considered. But yeah, if you actually play Phantasm Spirals, I'm pretty sure that you might like, you know, have some pointers, or you might actually like my build, because I've seen different builds and I think I like mine. Like, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't net deck another person's build. I actually like mine. It's awesome. Zombino is the best normal monster in the game. He's better than Dark Magician. But yeah, I love you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Definitely stay tuned for future content, because I gotta upload like a madman to make up for all the days that I was kind of out of the loop and not uploading. And I apologize, you guys, but I'm sorry, man. Like, I got a life, and sometimes I just can't do it. Like, stuff comes up last minute for me all the time, and I hate that. My life is very farcical. Like, I'll have a plan, I'll have a schedule. I'll be like, all right, I'm uploading 8 videos tonight. And then as soon as I get home, something happens. Like, it'll be like, oh, my girl's like, babe, we did not spend any time together. I want to go somewhere. Or it'll be like, my boy calls me and he's like, hey, can you watch the kids? I gotta watch my nephews. Like, just random last minute stuff pops up whenever I want to upload. And today I got free time, so I promise you I'm gonna upload like crazy, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next deck profile.